This is my update diary after having done 1 week of the Plant Paradox program. I'm going to talk about 4 massive wins. I'm going to talk about I haven't managed to stick to it completely, but it feels really, really transformative. Okay, then let's talk about the changes I have seen in the last week. First of all, weight loss. So I lost over 2 kilos in the phase 1 gut cleanse, but I expected that to be unrealistically high. I was told it was going to be a lot of water weight. And in the videos about phase 1, I talked about that, but we're not going to take that into account. What I'm going to tell you is what I weighed at the beginning of phase 1, that 3 days gut cleanse, and then what I weighed after 7 days on phase 2, because I think that is more realistic. So at the start of phase 1, I weighed 83.6 kilos. And after 1 week on the plant paradox, so that's 10 days later, it is 82.2. So that's a loss of 1.4 kilos, which that's over 3 pounds, I think. I'm really, really delighted with that, especially as I have not been as active as I wanted to be. I think that just doing this experiment with low lectins and doing it properly compared to how I was doing it before, that has taken up a certain amount of energy, which meant that I haven't exercised as much. There's something to think about for this coming week, but I'm really, really happy with that. What I want is consistent weight loss. I mean, everybody wants that, don't they? But it has been crazy. It's been up and down like a flipping lift up the Eiffel Tower, let's say. So that's great. Really happy with that. Next one, mobility. Wow. I have felt a significant difference in my mobility. So I'll tell you 2 short stories. So I think I might have said this in another video, but it's been really, I don't know how long, maybe a couple of months or something since I could go upstairs like most people do. So most people go upstairs like this. They go 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, 4 steps. Okay. For the last, I don't know, a couple of months or whatever, I've been going up like that. Just because I've been so achy, my joints have been hurting. And the other day I noticed that I was able, with a little bit of difficulty, to do this. And yesterday, I was just doing that, and it was no effort. And that blew me away. But then I went out to meet a group of friends last night, and we were sitting in the pub, and the chairs were not particularly comfortable. And after about an hour and a half, I said, I just need to stretch myself. And what I normally do if I'm in an uncomfortable position was I would stretch myself out, stretch my back, bend over at the hip, and just really take the ease off the position I was in. But what I did last night was I went, I need to walk. I need to get outside and walk around that pub car park. And as I was walking, I was noticing that I wasn't limping. I can avoid limping, but I've been really making an effort and walking like a toy soldier or something like this. But it was natural, and I can't believe that. My mobility in the last week is the best it's been for 7 years when all of these problems started. I'm blown away, and I can tell you that this aspect is the biggest motivator because it's right there. I feel it every day. I'm moving around every day. A number on the scale is great, but this is just amazing. Digestion. Yeah, digestion has been good. It needs to be better. And what it's making me realize, I think, is that healing this leaky gut, it takes time. I don't know how long, and maybe I should do some research. But what happens is you do the 3-day gut cleanse and you have this incredible change in how you feel, really dramatically. You feel dramatically better in 3 days. And so this might I think it might have led me to think that, oh, you know, in a week it'll all be sorted. And I think, no, I think it's more like, I don't know, but I'm feeling better every day, but I think there's still, I can feel even better. And I don't know how long. So let's watch this space. All right. Okay. This is a really good one. I spoke about this on the cleanse, but it's amazing that it's carried on, is this reduced appetite and loss of interest in food. So what have I got here? In the last week, I've forgotten to eat dinner twice. I just wasn't hungry. Twice, instead of a proper meal, I ate a little plate, not a really huge one, with feta, with pecans, pickled onions or olives. And that really satisfied me. And I know from my work in eating psychology, I know that the less that you can eat in the evening, the better it is, because everybody's metabolism just goes low in the evening. So you're not going to be burning up that energy. So, wow, it's very, very interesting how that's happened. But what's happened in this week that I don't think I saw on the cleanse, is that there's been 2 occasions where I have felt tempted by food. One was I was sitting in a room and somebody was eating chips or fries if you're in America. And I looked at them and I thought, oh, I'd love to have one of them. But I thought, oh, I'm not going to because of my amazing mobility result. But it was as if there was a bit of an invisible shield between me and the junk food there. And I remember I worked so hard when I gave up sugar. Well, it's nearly 13 years ago now. When I gave up sugar, I worked really hard to retrain my brain to do something else when I wanted the sugar, etc., etc. It was me controlling my cravings. And I got to that point where there's this invisible shield between me and sugar and all these stuff I used to eat. But this is in a very short time, like the last week or so. And it's like, wow, this is can you really feel like that? Because you're not eating all these inflammatory foods and your gut is healing. Can it really just make you go, nah, I don't care? Wow. And the other food was sourdough bread. I must say there's not a shield up yet, but as I said, if you watch the gut cleanse videos, I was having a very difficult time and I managed to use my mental rocket fuel to stop myself having the sourdough. But this time it was like, no, there's just no way. And I can see a time when that shield's gonna be up there. Yeah, definitely. Just like, actually, I forgot to say this, but with the mobility, my dream with my mobility, if you like, is to be able to go for a walk for half an hour, like people do. And yesterday when I was walking around that pub car park, I thought, yeah, I can see it. I can actually see that's possible for me. I felt like that. The next thing I want to say about this past week is that it has been really, really easy. And this is all the gift of downward comparison. So downward comparison is where, for example, if I'm feeling like, say I'm feeling, oh, you know, I wish my house was tidier or something like this. And then I would see a program about hoarders who have terribly dirty, messy houses. Suddenly my house feels better and looks better. That's because I'm comparing myself to somebody who is in a worse situation. And it's a great thing to do. Most people they're doing upward comparison. They're going, oh, look at that superstar. I don't look as great as them. Oh, damn. And it's not helpful, but downward comparison can be quite useful, especially when it's with yourself. So this week I've been doing downward comparison with the phase 1. And for example, like feta, it's like, wow, this is manna from heaven. the feta. Oh, it's amazing. So I couldn't eat that on the gut cleanse. And so it's just so amazing to have done those 3 days, because it reset what is boring, what is interesting around food. You know, so I just wanted to say that it has felt a lot easier than doing the less strict low lectin diet that I was doing before. What's next? Yeah, just a quick tip. I wrote a food diary. This was really useful because I noticed one day I thought, did I go off the rails? So did I eat some things I'm not allowed to? And so I wrote down everything I'd had. And for example, I'd had something low lectin that I'd made and put in the freezer a few weeks ago, which has got cheddar cheese in. You're not allowed any dairy, you know, from a cow on this. And I was like, oh, I had that. And do you know what? I'd done it and I hadn't even thought, I'm cheating. I hate this. I hate the whole idea of cheating when you're eating food that isn't strictly on the program. So it's been very useful because just to keep myself on track, I want the data to be as good as possible. And the other way in which I haven't done this to the letter is fruit. So there are certain fruits that you're allowed on phase 2, and he says in moderation. Now, I do not understand how somebody can say, you know, they can take a food and you Google it and it says low lectin, for example, strawberries, and they say only at the weekend or something like this. When they also say, hey, have as much stevia as you want. And it's like stevia is so much sweeter than strawberries and there's no fiber in it. So I do have this, I have this objection. I have this, and it's based on this is my objection. My one objection to the whole of this thing is about fruit. Sure, I get it. There are fruits that are higher in lectins, and I haven't had them. I have had only things on the S list, but I will say I've had strawberries most days, green bananas and plantains most days. So I just want to put that in there. I don't know if I could do this being as moderate as he says with fruit. However, if I'm finding that my digestion doesn't get to really excellent, which is where I want it, and if I'm finding that I'm plateauing a bit, I will do an experiment where I stick to what he says about fruit to the letter. But everything else I have stuck to the letter. So you can take this video diary for what it is. I feel quite strongly about it. So I'm going to do this at the moment. I'm getting amazing results as it is. So that's it for the end of week 1. I'm really delighted. I'm going to carry on, obviously. The one thing I do want to change and I really want to upgrade in this coming week is exercise, is doing more, pushing myself more, and just to build up my muscles, and especially more walking, because I'm on it now. I will get to that half an hour walk. Okay, so keep tuned. There's going to be more updates as I go through this, and I'm beyond excited about this. It's amazing.